So tomorrow is my birthday, and I wanted to make a video to talk about a historical figure who helped shape me into the woman that I am today. And that figure is Joan of Arc. Joan was born in France in 1412 and died in 1431, and was able to achieve more in her short time on Earth than most people do in their regular lifespan. Joan was born to a poor farming family, and there had been a lot of political turmoil going on as she was growing up. The setting for Joan's story takes place during the 100 Years' War between the English and the French. A lot of the fighting took place in France, which decimated the French economy. On top of that, the French King Charles VI was unfit to rule, and his brothers, Louis, Duc d'Orléans, and his cousin, John, Duke of Burgundy, fought over who would rule France. And because nobody can get along, apparently, John ordered the assassination of Louis, and that led to civil war, making things in France even worse than they already were. When Louis died, his son Charles took up his cause, leading to complete division of the French populace. John versus Charles. Who's gonna win? Charles. It's Charles. England obviously saw this entire goat rodeo as an ideal opportunity to make things even worse and just continue to invade France while everyone was distracted. England eventually chose to bid for John to take the throne and started giving Charles's army a good old-fashioned walloping. The French at this time believed in an old tale that an armed maiden would be the one to rally forces together and save France. Turns out, Joan was that girl. Joan had been having visions and hearing voices of Archangel Michael, Saint Margaret, and Saint Catherine, who warned her of England and their ever-increasing influence on the French way of life. And the only way to stop this was to aid in putting Charles on the throne. After meeting with Joan, Charles tasked her with leading a relief army to the siege of d'Orléans. She raised the morale of a battered and hopeless French army that had been decimated by English conquest. 9 days after Joan's arrival to the battlefield, the English army abandoned their post and gave victory to the French forces. Joan was only 17 years old. Wearing a suit of armor and yielding a sword, Joan led the French army to victory at the Battle of Patay, which led to the crowning of Charles VII, and the eventual French victory in the overall 100 Years' War several decades later. Where everything started to fall apart is when Joan failed at the siege of Paris and at La Charité, which made Charles VII lose faith in her. She was then captured by the English and put on trial for witchcraft because of her visions and the wearing of men's clothes. Joan was found guilty and burned at the stake on May 30th, 1431. She was only 19 years old. Now, do I think Joan was this supernatural being who was sent to save all of France? No. Do I think she communed with angels and had prophetic visions? Also no. To me, Joan is a hero because she fought valiantly for what she believed in. She never once wavered in her faith, in her beliefs, or her choices. Even when she faced defeat, or even when she faced death, Joan was betrayed by the man that she fought for. Charles didn't come to her aid once he got his seat on the throne, a throne that he obtained all thanks to Joan. And even when she burned on that pyre, betrayed by the very people she fought for, Joan was at peace because she knew that everything she did for her country, her people, and her faith. And that is why Joan of Arc is one of my heroes.